This time with Bob Brazier, who now is general manager of the Mobile Convention Center, but back in the 60s and 70s, a reporter for WKRG-TV. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. The first African-American reporter at this television station. I don't know about in town, perhaps in town.
Well, that's true. I was the first here, and actually, a reporter was hired at ALA the same time I was hired here. Mm-hmm. So that was through litigation and negotiation with the neighborhood organized workers and the TV stations.
Whole different world back then.
Whole different world back then.
I mean, not only we were talking before the show technically, but also socially as a first African-American reporter.
Oh, it was. I mean, I look back at that and I say, what a difference the time makes, because during that time, you had no credibility as a news reporter, being a black reporter. But later on, it got to be that people really understood each other. And what blacks wanted was just an opportunity to be a news reporter. But during that time, in '69, that's when people were hired all over the city.
Let me stop you here, because we only have a limited amount of time, and I want to move on to an area that I know means a lot to you in your broadcast career here, and that's a show called Operation Understanding.
That's true, John. Operation Understanding was the better part of my career, because Operation Understanding gave blacks and whites the opportunity to really understand each other. And that's why the name was Operation Understanding. Any issue, whatever the issue was, we had them on the program Operation Understanding. Whether it was the mayor and one of the civil rights workers that had grievance or anything like, we would sit down and we would hash it out. And from understanding each other, I think was the key to the many changes that happened in Mobile.
And really, I think it is an important aspect. And even now, dealing with race relation issues can be a tricky thing on television. I imagine back then it was difficult water to tread.
Oh, it was difficult at times, but the key is just sitting people down together and giving them the opportunity to discuss whatever they wanted to discuss, whatever problems that were going on in the community. That would be the subject of Operation Understanding that week. And once people understood, then things changed. So that was the key to being here at that time.
Your time here a good time?
Great time. We had great people. You got people like Wes Diamond here. You Bill Jordan, who's been
still here.
Bill, if you hear me now, you've been here a long time. We're talking 35 years ago, but it was a great time here at WKRG. And I appreciate them giving me the opportunity to be the first reporter for WKRG.
Well, I tell you what, we are proud to have you here, Bob, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, John, always a pleasure talking with you, and thank you for having me.
All right, Bob Brazier, reporter here at WKRG from 1969 to 1979. We will be back in just a minute.
Thank you, Mike.
Welcome back to News 5 at 9 a.m. We are looking back fondly on 50 years of WKRG, and a lot of our friends have been joining us, and this time it's Skeeter Diehl, and it's lovely to see you here, Skeeter.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to death to be here.
We're just excited to have you. That's right, again.
Again, some more.
Now, real estate now, but
Right.
that wasn't always the case.
No, it was not. Romper Room was it.
Yep, Romper Room was a big deal.
It was real big. It was real big, and it was real live, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every morning, no matter how you felt, no matter how you looked, you were here.
What time?
Probably got here around 8 because we went on the air at 9.
All right, now Romper Room, for those who, I got a feeling just most people have heard of Romper Room, even the kids nowadays. But this is a picture of Romper Room, and I see the doobies and the don't bees behind you there.
Oh, yeah.
And you mentioned no matter what, you were on, and you were on live.
Right. Every day. And the children didn't always behave themselves.
No.
Yeah, didn't always behave themselves.
Can you share a little bit?
Well, at one point, one little boy was really acting up. I mean, acting up big time. And so I'll probably be put in jail for doing this today, but I just put my hand on his arm and sort of stuck my fingernails in his arm and just squeezed real tight. And he said, "Oh, Miss Skeeter, you're hurting me." And I thought, uh-oh, here I go. But anyway, we got through that one.
Yep.
So, and he did calm down.
Mm-hmm.
He did behave himself.
Now, this is Skeeter and some of the kids on Romper Room. This was late 50s to early 60s,
Right,
would you say?
right. And we had the tambourine, and we did the march around, and we did the weather, Willie the weatherman, every day, not your kind of weather. But we did such, and we dressed him according to what his needs would be that day. If he needed a raincoat, or if he needed a little jacket, or if he needed a hat.
I need to think about trying something like that. That might just work.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked, and it was fun dressing him.
Now, in addition to Romper Room, at this time, the reason we're seeing all still pictures here, no tape. No videotape.
No, sir. No, sir. Everything was still shots and live.
Right. Even the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
They were all done live.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question. Yeah. I did an 8 o'clock at night commercial for a while, and came down to the station to do my 2-minute commercial and went back home again. I mean, that was just the way we had to do it then.
Boy, that is really wild. Now move ahead a little ways. You came back and did Woman's World for a while.
Did Woman's World. We did fashions and interviews. And we had the news within the show, and we also had Connie B. Hope at that point.
Oh, yeah.
The cooking show.
That's right, Connie B. and Estelle. You can't beat that.
Nope.
Now, you know, you mentioned that news in the show and fashions and cooking and that kind of stuff. It reminds me a lot of this broadcast.
Right, of what you're doing right now. And it's live, too, isn't it?
Yep.
And somebody acts up, and you got to put up with
it.
it.
Yeah, so you behave yourself.
Well, I'll do my best.
And since that time, real estate?
Right, doing real estate. Well, I did Mardi Gras for several years.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and that was a whole lot.
Now, that's Mardi Gras coverage you're talking about.
All the Mardi Gras coverage for Channel 5. And we did the interviews that were taped at that point ahead of time, and then did the live show on Mardi Gras Day from the Riverview.
Right,
so
which we actually still do nowadays. We go down there and take care of business from there. Well, how exciting, and how was it fun at that time?
Oh, it was great fun. It really was. It was great fun. It was an all-day affair with that Mardi Gras business. It really was. But it was nothing but fun, and you just saw so many people, so many sights, and wow.
Yeah, maybe a few sights you didn't want to see, but nonetheless, all exciting. And again, just so wonderful to have you here. We're so glad you could come and visit with us and share with us your thoughts.
You're a good guy. Thanks so much.
All right. Skeeter Diehl, the host of Romper Room and Woman's World and Mardi Gras coverage on WKRG News 5. And great to have you back with us.
Thanks.
We'll be back in just a minute. We are looking back fondly on 50 years of broadcasting. Joining us today, Monica Knight, now a healthcare administrator for United Way Agency, but back then, in the late 70s, early 80s, what were you doing?
Oh, gee, I was doing 2 shows. First, I did the show called Your Health, which was taped on Tuesday nights and aired on Sunday mornings, part of what used to be the community interest feature of the station. And then after I had my first baby, I was home giving her a bottle. The phone rang. It was Buck Long. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm giving my baby a bottle. What are you doing?" He said, "Come on down and talk to me." He asked me to do Woman's World. I was on the air the next day.
Wow, the next day.
The next day.
How things work out.
Who knew?
Woman's World. Now, we've had a couple of the hosts of Woman's World on this broadcast already, and we've come to realize it very much resembles this show in some regards, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Of course, then we were only a half-hour show.
Right.
We were on from 12 to 12:30, and had a news window and weather, and the ever-wonderful Connie B. and Estelle. They were a mess.
Very popular duo there.
God bless them. They've both gone on to their greater glory, but it was a hoot working with them.
Now, I was looking here over just some of your interviews. You got the big leagues of interviews on this broadcast with Lee Salk, Michael Landon, Ed McMahon, Barbara Bush, when she was the First Lady.
And you know, when her daughter came to town to open the library, I told her I bet I was the only person in town who had interviewed both her, Laura Bush, and her mother-in-law, Barbara Bush.
Is that right? And we have a picture, I think, of you interviewing Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Oh, yeah, back in the day.
What are your most memorable moments of your time here at WKRG?
had some fun ones. I'm not going to name names, but, you know, back then there were actually people behind the cameras,
right.
and we would cut up a lot. And we had someone in an audio booth who had a tendency to kind of snooze on the job.
Ah.
So sometimes things weren't as smooth as they should have been.
Could have possibly been, right?
Yeah.
Well, we now blame computers for that sort of thing.
Yeah. But back then, you know.
Oh well, but really, did you enjoy it? Was it worthwhile? Did it do anything for you down the road?
I absolutely loved it. I loved having people in, as you do, finding out what's going on in the community, making lots of new friends every day, and just feeling a part of what was happening. And yes, it did prepare me for things down the road, because once I left television, I went into healthcare administration. And as I mentioned, I've really been involved with a lot of high-profile things, you know.
Well, Monica, we sure have enjoyed visiting with you. And
Thank you,
glad you
John.
could come back to WKRG
It's a
Beyond the
pleasure.
Air this morning. Monica Knight, host of Your Health and Woman's World on WKRG. And we are so glad to see you, and we'll be talking more with a few other folks, but we still have more to come on this broadcast as well. We are looking back fondly on 50 years of broadcasting here at WKRG. And joining us now, Barbara Shaw. Great to see you, Barbara.
Well, thanks, John. Great to be a has-been here.
That's true, but we're not going back that far. Late 70s into the 80s?
Yes.
To about the mid-80s. Matter of fact, you were departing just as I was arriving.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
we kind of came in through the same route. We came in through radio. I started here in '78 when G100 went on the air.
I remember that.
And they also, at that same time, were trying to convert the AM station into an all-news format. Then I eventually went over there, did the talk show, and then made my way into television.
And as a television reporter and sometimes anchor as well.
Yes.
What are some of your more memorable moments? By the way, we are looking now at some video, Barbara, and you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, you're so kind and such a liar. But I know that everyone's out there saying, oh my gosh, look how old she's gotten. But primarily, I covered a lot of the government stuff. I covered City Hall, I covered county, I covered school board, and then did a lot of lifestyle reporting. Basically, you know, was Mel's backup here in the morning.
Is that right?
Yeah,
oh, the morning show. That's
on the
right.
morning
Mel, of
show.
course, was a morning show anchor for a very long time before he went to the evenings. And yeah, backing him up on this show. Huh?
Yeah. Getting up at 3 a.m. and
Right. You knew
all
it
that good fun.
What are some of your more memorable moments as a reporter or as an anchor?
Well, you know, I think the things that I remember are that we, as a news organization, were constantly in the national news. I mean, this was sort of a good market if you were interested in progressing, because the national attention was always here on Mobile for some reason or another.
Right. At one point, it was Frederick.
Hurricane Frederick at one point, and unfortunately, we had a series of elected officials who were indicted on different charges, and we had a lot of coverage on that. There was also coverage of some Klan crimes that occurred during that period, and you know, the spotlight sort of stayed down here for a long time.
Yeah, and as you say, a lot of it very difficult and troubling news. Any lighter moments, though? Anything that stands out as being kind of a strange thing that might have happened to you?
Well, actually, one of the stories that got one of the biggest responses was, it was so silly, I still can't believe this, but we one day did a story about this parrot named Bob who had escaped. And there was this desperate woman. She was calling up in the tree, just, you know, Bob, come down, Bob. And so we, you know, we were trying to shoot all the efforts to try to rescue this parrot, or to get the parrot
So
back in
apparently
the
the
cage.
parrot didn't fly that far away.
Oh, no. And then, of course, he took off. Well, we had Bob sightings for the entire week. I mean, people were constantly calling us, oh, we've spotted Bob here, we've spotted Bob there. I think we chased that bird all over Mobile County for a whole week before we finally got him back in his cage. But,
Well,
but it's interesting how people respond, you know, that was something that touched them. And
That's true.
They called in a lot.
Now, what are you doing these days? What are you up to?
Well, right
Life
now,
after broadcasting.
Yeah, there is life after broadcasting. And I have continued to work in the community since I left WKRG. But currently, I'm the Public Affairs Manager for Mobile Area Water and Sewer System.
All right. Well, it's so wonderful to see you again. We've run up on each other many times over the years, but it's always a pleasure. And thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. Barbara Shaw.
Thanks, John.
We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. We're looking back fondly on 50 years, and look who's here. It is Max Goodman. Great to have you here, Max.
With less hair.
But you're looking fabulous.
Well, feel good.
1963 to 1985
85.
here at WKRG,
Right.
and I would say that you were the morning weatherman, as I am, but you did so much more.
That's right. We cleaned up the studio, cleaned the bathrooms. We did. No, not kidding. But we just used to have a real relaxed, good time. And I'm sure you do now because I've seen what the show's about. And it just brings back memories of a lot of things that have happened in the last 50 years. And like news gathering. Well, back then we had a 35 millimeter camera about this tall, one roll of film, which I think was 60 feet. You went out, shot the story, came back, you wrote the story, you sent the film up to Havertz Film at that time on Royal Street, I think it was, and had it developed. You got the film back from him, then you had to edit your own film to go with the story you just wrote.
Wow.
And then go on there.
Yeah, none of this electronic news gathering, and now we've got digital and everything else.
No.
Oh, here's a picture of somebody we know.
Yeah, that was many years ago.
That goes back to about when, do you think?
That was back in the 60s.
And what were you doing here?
This was a newscast.
Okay, now you were a newscaster, announcer,
And kid show.
and that's right, kids show. Eventually, the big show too.
Big
I think
show.
a lot of people.
Afternoon. Yeah, 3:30 to 5 o'clock every afternoon, Monday through Friday. We had what they call the big show, and we showed every Audie Murphy movie ever made, every Tarzan movie ever made. And if it was a bad movie, I used to get on the air and say, okay, folks, this is a dog. Don't watch it. You got something else to do? Go.
There. Hey, you're right there with the
there
big
we
show.
are.
You know, I used to watch the big show. I sure did.
And we had the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah. You had a movie about spiders once, scared the daylights out of me. Now, what is the bingo thing?
This was a show put on by Greer's Food Markets here in Mobile, and we used to have bingo called from a big barrel. We'd pick the numbers out. The customers of Greer's would have bingo cards from the store, and they played bingo at home with us.
All right, I know that there are hundreds of these, but some memorable moments for you.
Oh, memorable moments was, excuse me, when the general manager at that time, C.P. Persons, called me in one day and said, how would you like to go to Washington? I said, great, what for? He said, I want you to go up and interview the Attorney General Katzenbach. And we did. I did. And that was a memorable moment. That was back when all the civil rights strife was going on. And also, when Gerald Ford was in Mobile, I got to interview him.
Right. And you parked the battleship, you were telling me.
Yeah, parked the battleship.
When it came into town.
That's right. Well, Bob Bosworth and I were out covering at that time, shooting film. The guy on the bow looked over and said, you think this is a good place? And I said, fine with me. He said, park it. So that's where, I know good and well I didn't have anything to do with it, but.
Well, what are you doing these days? What are you up to?
Trying to play golf. And got 2 grandchildren down in South Florida. And just keeping up with the boys. I got one boy and his family, of course, South Florida. And my other son, Glenn, is in Greenville, South Carolina.
Your time here, as you look back on it?
Beautiful. Had fond memories of a lot of people who have passed on, and I really miss them and miss a lot of people still here today.
Yeah. Well, we're so glad that you could come and join us today. And
it's been my pleasure.
It's always a pleasure talking with you, Max, and wish you all the best, and you and the grandkids, too.
Thank you, John.
Max Goodman from WKRG. We are so glad to have him here. We're going to be back in just a minute.